The American economy is still not good. Layoffs continue. The United States remains in a proxy war with Russia in Ukraine. The United States still has a high level of tension with China in regards to Taiwan. The world leaders of the East are coming together, uniting. And Trump has soldiers on the ground in cities in the capital, and he's talking about expanding it to other cities such as Chicago. And of course, today recently he announced that he's going to change the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. So I would say that it definitely looks like we're headed towards a war. Whatever's about to happen is not going to be good. Hey guys, welcome to the Demcat channel. Yeah, he's changing the name of the Department of Defense back to the Department of War. It was at one point named the Department of War. Trump said that, well, at one point we won World War I, World War II. I guess he ignored Russia's input on the Eastern Front. But anyway, I get his point. He said that essentially we won a lot of wars before that, and we changed our name to the Department of Defense, and we went woke. I didn't know we went woke. Was that in the 50s or 60s? I don't know. Anyway, that's what he says. So he's going to change the name to the Department of War. You can change the name all you want. I mean, you still have the same military. So if you're not prepared to fight and win a war that you're obviously moving us towards, then it doesn't matter what you call the Pentagon and everything. It doesn't really matter. I mean, do we have adequate production? Do we have adequate manufacturing here in America to actually sustain a war with these other countries? I mean, do we have a secure supply chain? I'm just wondering. You could you could call it what we're not in a position to win a war. We haven't really won a lot of wars in decades. But anyway, it's not about the American people. It's not about what's best for us. It's all about what's best for the corporations. And it's pretty obvious that Trump, he's taking orders from somebody. And that's why he bombed Iran. That was not in America's best interest at all. And Israel, if they start something else again, we're going to get dragged into that. And there's not going to be anybody in the Pentagon, Department of War, or whatever the heck you want to call it, who's going to stand up for the best interest of the American people. They're just going to do what they do. And those soldiers, Trump has troops in D.C. There's talk, last time I heard, talk of Chicago and other major cities. Whatever the heck they're preparing for, it's not going to be good. People talk about crime is down in D.C. Okay, all right. They don't care about, Republican leaders typically don't care about the crimes in the Democratic cities. They don't care. So there's something else going on here. I want to see crime overall go down in cities and in also rural areas that tend to be Republican. I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. You shouldn't have crappy cities. You shouldn't have cities overrun with garbage. You shouldn't have cities where people don't feel safe to go anywhere. All right, it shouldn't be like that, regardless of one's politics. But anyway, the layoffs, they are continuing. Let's see. It's all over Purdue. There's this Purdue plant in Washington, Indiana. They're gonna do some layoffs. There's ConocoPhillips of Houston. They're going to lay off 25% of their workforce. They employ about 10,000 people, including their contractors. They're going to lay off 10,000 or 12,000, something like that. But they're going to lay off. That's how many people are in their workforce. They're going to lay off about 3,000 people or so, about 25%. So you're seeing oil companies do this. You're seeing pharmaceuticals as well. I forgot the name of this one pharmaceutical company I looked up, but yeah, it's Oracle in the Bay Area. They're going to lay off some people. You're seeing it across the board, but GDP is up. GDP is up about over 3% in the second quarter. All right. Well, I mean, somebody's making money, but it's not most of the American people. If inflation continues, of course, you're going to have people making more money. GDP is going to grow because people are paying more for the same item. It doesn't necessarily mean that, this is great economic growth or anything. And the jobs report it was not impressive. They were expecting 75,000, which I thought was kind of low, really low. 75,000 jobs in 1 month. Well, the report came out and it was nowhere near expectations. It was somewhere around 22,000, created 22,000 jobs. in August. Not good. Even if they met the expectation, it wouldn't have been that great to me. I mean, we need to be creating 200,000 jobs a month. I mean, we need to start creating jobs, but it just isn't happening. But that's the situation. The jobs report sucks. We have troops on the ground in the Capitol, which is usually not a great sign. There's talk of expanding that to other cities. I don't think it's about safety. I think something's coming. They renamed the Department of Defense or the Department of War. That was its old name, which, I think it's sort of weird to name your Department of Defense Department of War if you're not actually at war. But maybe we really are, and things are about to get kinetic. Things are about to get hot. So something to really consider. Meanwhile, in the East, they're uniting. The world leaders are standing up. At least in the East, they're coming up with a plan. They're building economic infrastructure. And I think pretty soon they're going to be really focusing on the military infrastructure. So it may be Russia, China, North Korea versus the United States. It'll be interesting to see what India does if there's a world war. I don't know if it'll immediately go to nuclear or would it just start off as a conventional war or maybe asymmetric war. I don't think it's just going to be proxy war. Some people think that, World War III is going to be proxy wars. I think it's going to be, cyber warfare. I think it's going to be a lot of asymmetric, but I think it's going to be a large conventional component where they're going to be using drones and also tanks and artillery and infantry. But eventually, I think it's going to elevate towards biological warfare, and then nuclear. So the East is rising and the West is in decline. The question is, how is the West going to deal with this decline? It looks like they're going to deal with it through war. That's how it looks like they're going to deal with it. Anyway, guys, share your thoughts. I saw this movie, Highest to Lowest. It's a Spike Lee joint. And starring Denzel Washington as his music mogul who has a situation where his son gets kidnapped. And he has his friend's son or his godson ends up being the one who's in jeopardy, and he has to make a big decision. It's about life or money. Is he going to jeopardize $17 million to save somebody else's life who's not his son? And watching his thought process through the entire situation, it's really fascinating. I really enjoyed this movie. It's Spike Lee's style. He has a strong score playing over it, and it takes some getting used to, but it's a good score actually. So. I like the music that's incorporated into the film. I thought it didn't seem forced or anything. So I definitely enjoyed Highest to Lowest. You guys might want to check it out if you get a chance, especially if you want to see a movie about a moral dilemma and the music industry, where it's going. And I thought it was pretty fascinating. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget the future belongs to those who prepare for today. If you don't have emergency food, you might want to get some today. Something to consider. Emergency food, emergency water, something to keep in mind. All right, we're about to enter fall. The weather's going to cool down. I might make some changes to my EDC, but I'm comfortable with this. I mean, Glock 21, 2 spare mags, Hank's belt, a knife made by Crate Tactical, flashlight made by Phoenix. I'm good to go. I won't change this for a while.